What's up, budget billers? Boy, President Biden is really having a bad week. Biden is being trashed in the news all week long. Could it get even worse for him? I mean, daily news and sometimes multiple news in one day is slamming Biden left and right, but does he really deserve it? I will let you guys be the judge of that. But also, we do have a couple of shocking news stories that I want to report on today, which is insane to even hear these comments come out of people's mouths. You're going to be shocked about what these people really think. And yes, it does have to do with cases or issues. We're going to get to it. Don't worry, guys. Also, we have some updated news regarding the fourth stimulus check and the two infrastructure bills, the physical infrastructure bill and the human infrastructure bill. We need to know exactly what's going on and when we can expect to get this massive $3.5 trillion package to be signed. And then on top of all of that, we do have some good news for some people, which it depends on what side you're on. But the eviction moratorium that was put in place a few weeks ago by President Biden and the CDC, the Centers of Control and Prevention, it has gone to the appeals court and they rejected the idea to halt this order from the president. So the eviction moratorium will stay in place for at least another month. Now, those are just some of the topics that we are going to cover today. So if you're interested in any of those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. That way you can join our community. Also, if you end up liking the content in this video or even laughing at one of my jokes, then be sure to like this video. Other than that, guys, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and start off with the most popular news of President Biden being trashed in the media right now. This withdrawal from Afghanistan is appearing more and more that this was not the right move to make, nor the right time to make it, nor the right planning to make it at all. This entire mishap could ruin the legacy for President Biden altogether. Every news outlet is blaming President Biden for making the decision to withdraw so fast from the country without the proper planning in place. And now that the Taliban has pretty much taken over, things continue to get horrible every day. Our allies and Americans are still stuck there and waiting to be rescued. I believe I saw a story yesterday morning that said that there have already been no evacuations over the past 12 hours, which we still don't know why there isn't a huge urgency in evacuating these people. I mean, it's sort of our fault that this has happened and we still don't have several plans going back and forth to help out with the evacuation of these individuals. However, President Biden did state on Friday that he vows to complete the Afghan evacuation very soon. But there are some risk involved with it. And we know it's risk involved, Biden. We already know that. There was risk involved when we pulled our troops out of there already. I'm still trying to figure out why did we remove our troops from there while still having a ton of machinery and equipment over there? How can we just waste billions and billions of dollars of vehicles and helicopters over there and just leave them? And someone gets a hold of those and uses it for the wrong reason. But anyways, yes, guys, Biden has really flipped out on this one, I must say, and he must make it all better if he wants to retain his legacy of being a good president. Otherwise, his ratings have pretty much plummeted this week to new all-time lows. Now, President Biden did make some good news this week to sort of offset the tragic issues in Afghanistan. He announced that he was wiping $5.8 billion in student loan debt from Americans. And this came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting this. I don't know if you guys was, and then he also introduced or increased the food stamp benefits by 30% this week. Both of these, Biden is making things happen without the support of Congress. On top of that, the $3.5 trillion stimulus package that should be coming out later this year. I guess Biden felt like these particular things couldn't wait any longer and he needed to do something fast. I wish he could just make an executive order to send out another stimulus check. That would be great for the American people and we would just ignore all of this Afghanistan issues that's going on right now. But we know that Biden can't authorize money to the American people without Congress, so we know that won't happen at all. But it sure does sound nice, right? And then on Friday, guys, President Biden Biden got a little bit of a break because the appeals court rejected the idea of halting the eviction moratorium that President Biden and the CDC put out a few weeks ago. Or earlier this month, Biden and the CDC made an announcement that they were extending the eviction moratorium that expired at the end of July. They wanted to extend it because the Delta variant was really surging here, and it's a bad time for people to be evicted, which could help the increase and the spread of the deadly virus. Well, a few lawmakers and tons of realty groups tried to challenge this extension, and they took it to the appeals court to try and get a halt on the eviction ban. But Friday, that came back in favor of President Biden, and the eviction moratorium will stay active through the 1st of October. This is some very great news, guys, for those who are struggling right now, those who have been unable to pay their rent or their mortgages. But of course, it's bad news for landlords like myself, which pretty much makes it challenging for everyone. For landlords forced to allow someone to stay in their rental properties for free with no rent being paid over the last 18 months, which could ultimately return to forcing your homes to be potentially foreclosed on. It's just a bad time for everybody, guys. But luckily, my tenants have been paying this whole time, so thank you. But I believe this eviction ban will now head on over to the Supreme Court to get their input on whether this will continue to stay active or not. So far, the eviction ban will continue to stay active until October the 3rd. Now, in other news, let's go ahead and talk about these two crazy stories that I told you guys about early in the video. The first one is Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. He stated that African Americans who have been not are driving to surge. He was on Fox News on Thursday, and he was asked why he thinks it's surging in America. And this guy had the nerve to blame it on the black people. So he was asked about spreading so rapidly and what does he think the main reason is. So he acknowledged that infections are largely among people who have not been receiving as of yet. And then he said this, guys. Democrats like to blame Republicans on that. Well, the biggest group in most states are African Americans who have not been. The last time I checked, over 90% of them vote for Democrats in their major cities and major counties. What? What's wrong with this guy? How are you just going to blame the increase in the cases on a certain race with no specific numbers to back that information up? And yes, this guy is from my home state, Texas. But that doesn't excuse him, guys. This guy is a knucklehead. Clearly, he is totally wrong in providing this fake news to the American people. But all he had to do was just go to the Texas Department of State Health Services and look up the real statistics on this information that he's talking about. He would have saw that African American people and the population is not driving the increase. It says on their website, black residents in Texas accounted for 16.4% cases in Texas and about 10.2% of deaths as of August the 13th. While rates are low among black Texans, the highest case rates are among whites and Hispanics, who make up 34.9% and 35.8% of the state's cases respectively, according to the latest data that they have. Now that's some real news for you guys. Anyways, hey, that's the first piece of stupid news that I have for you that makes you want to say, what in the world was he thinking? And then the other news that was stupid to my ears, there was a poll or a survey conducted from August the 16th through August the 18th in regards to who is to blame for the spread of the deadly. The survey included about 1,600 adults in the United States. And the results came back and they are pretty freaking stunning. Now, if you look at the chart on the screen right here, notice on the left side, it shows who is taking this poll, which the first one on the list is the Americans, or for that first section right there. Then look in the middle. People believe the people to blame for cases surging in America. They believe people are the ones to blame. Are they even serious right now? You mean to tell me the people who refuse to get the shot believe that the ones who actually got the shot are the ones that are spreading around in the U.S.? Who are they getting their information from? Daffy Duck? I mean, come on now. The proof is in the pudding. Read between the lines, guys. The ones who have chosen to did it to protect themselves as well as to protect outside individuals. And people don't believe it all, or they don't care whether they spread it or not. And more than likely, not even wearing a mask. But they think that someone outside of themselves are the ones spreading. Man, get out of here. Bye, Felicia. Anyways, guys, hey, moving on. There hasn't been a lot of news lately regarding the bipartisan infrastructure bill in the House and the human infrastructure bill that's in the Senate right now. That's because they have been on their recess break majority of the month. But there is some good news, guys. The House of Representatives will be returning to Washington next week, which could finally set up for a vote to happen as early as Monday. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans on having a procedural vote to move forward with the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. Pelosi has created a stalemate on bringing the bill to the floor for a vote, as she demands to wait for the larger package, the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure package, to pass in the Senate first in order for her to take a vote on it. Pelosi has stated several times that she wants to bring both bills to the vote in the House at the same time, using a strategy seen previously in Washington to sort of guarantee that both bills are successful. The pressure is becoming heavy on Pelosi as a group of 9 centrist House Democrats reiterated their call for the chamber to vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill before they change their minds. The 9 lawmakers have threatened to vote against the budget resolution bill if Fancy Nancy doesn't bring a vote on the bipartisan bill immediately. They said that delaying progress on the economic agenda could ruin the chances that the Democrats have to boost households and to provide improvement for the American people. And this also helps the chances of retaining seats in next year's midterm. So yes, they will probably have this procedural vote sometime next week, but will Pelosi change her strategy and have the final vote is the question. She doesn't want to jeopardize the opportunity to pass the budget resolution bill in the Senate by holding up this vote in the House. However, she could continue with her strategy and just wait to have the final vote once the massive bill has passed in the Senate. But as a reminder, hey, the bill is expected to include Medicare expansion, universal pre-K, wider access to paid leave and childcare, extensions of the strengthened household tax credits, and policies designed to encourage clean energy adoption. However, the proposal may get scaled back a little bit as the Senate Democratic lawmakers, including Joe Manchin and Christine Sinema, continue to criticize the massive $3.5 trillion price tag. In order to pass both of these bills in the Senate and the House, they need all 50 Democrats to vote in favor of it. One vote against the proposals would sink the deal totally. So we can expect to see some major progress next week when the House returns back to the office on Monday morning. This slow process makes it seem like our timeline for passing both bills is going to be closer to happening sometime in September, which I originally projected it all to happen in August. But anyways, guys, we will see how this all turns out. I will keep you guys posted on any new developments that we receive. And anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. This has been another fourth stimulus check update for today. Now, if you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful or even laughed at one of my jokes, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot, and it also tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community, and hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, as always, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.